Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at Ask Adam Torres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Chaz Berman on the line, and he is CEO over at Grower's Secret. Chaz, welcome to the show.
Oh, good day, Adam. Thanks for having me.
So I'm excited to get more into what you're doing over at Grower's Secret. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into your background. So how did you get started in your career in business?
Good question. So not unlike a lot of people, I graduated college with a BA in sociology and art history, and really didn't know what to do next. So I took a couple of jobs with very large companies and realized that large companies were not for me. And so I ventured into much smaller companies, and Grower's Secret is my 8th business project. And so since I started my entrepreneurial career, I've managed 7 businesses and returned many millions of dollars to my investors.
Man, that's awesome. I love your story, and I love that you found your path so young. And the reason is because, we all learn from these ups, downs, the sideways. We know that we could spend days talking about what those 8 businesses took. But that being said, there's some younger listeners right now that they're just getting started with that first business. And you now have the benefit of hindsight working on your side. What kind of advice would you give to that person that's out there? Maybe they're just graduating college. Maybe they didn't go to college and they're just going straight into the workforce and they're thinking about starting their first venture.
So that's a very deep question, Adam. But
it's loaded. Come on, Chaz. Give me the dirt. That's loaded. And I expected for someone like you to take a deep breath on that. Like, why did he ask me? Well, I asked. Go for it, Chaz.
Okay. So what I would suggest is that you put yourself through some fire, meaning you don't be afraid to fail, and you don't put yourself at too much financial risk to begin with. And then you pursue the things you liked. And in fact, of my 7 companies, not one of them is in the same industry. So once you understand the skeleton of business, you can pretty much apply it to any business.
I like it. So the skeleton of business, models. So once you understand models, you can apply them to different ones. I love it. And that's key. So Chaz, I do want to switch it up a bit. I want to get into what you're doing over at Grower's Secret. So tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Sure, I'd love to. So Grower's Secret began in 1998 because 2 scientists in Hawaii discovered one of the best examples of symbiosis between a fungus and a tree. And of course, that fungus and that tree had been sharing materials for eons. And in a nutshell, the tree provided carbohydrates and the fungus provided some pest protection. And they were able to pull out a very special material that is our anchor product. It's called Grower's Secret Professional, and it is a plant growth enhancer, which increases pretty much any crop by 30%.
Wow.
That was a hard act to follow. And but we discovered with a couple of friends up in Twin Falls, Idaho, a product that is called Grower's Secret Nitrogen, and basically we use a hydrolysis process to make a hydrolysate, and it comes out 1400, which for an organic product is very high and very useful to farmers because it has a lot of flexibility. So essentially, we've built the company on the backs of Grower's Secret Nitrogen. We've done a number of product extensions, which probably not quite as successful as the nitrogen, but still, very good for organic farmers.
I love this. I love it. I love the backstory. I love what you're doing, and you also said symbiosis on my show, which I think that's the first time that's been said, and I've been wanting to talk about symbiotic relationships all the time. I love it. That tree needs that fungus needs that tree. There you go. Just like whenever I get in an Uber, I tell my Uber driver, thank you. He's like, no, thank you. I'm like, hey, symbiotic relationship. We need each other here, guy. All good. I love it. So, Chaz, that being said, I think you have a very unique vantage point from what you're doing, meaning in this organic domain. That and obviously the trend. So I'm in California, so it goes without saying we know how the trend here is organic, better food, higher quality, the huge farming, obviously all these things huge. But I see it spreading other places also. Any kind of trends just in the farming side and in food and all these things that you're noticing from your vantage point from Grower's Secret?
Sure. So this whole movement has really been powered by consumers, very different than other movements in farming. And basically, you know, it's our spouses that all want to serve healthy food for their families and their pets. And that has pushed the interest in organic food up to about 13% annually for probably the last 8 to 10 years.
Wow.
And along with that, of course, is the need for organic crop inputs, fertilizers, organic pesticides. And so we've been very fortunate. You know, part of being an entrepreneur is luck. And I'd like to say that we were all prescient and we chose these particular products, but we kind of tripped over them, frankly. And so the organic fertilizer business is growing at 11 to 12% annually also.
Wow.
And we noticed that the growth in organics is starting to go global in a pretty big way. Of course, Europe has been there for a while. Mm-hmm. But we're dealing with quite a few emerging markets that are growing organic. So this doesn't seem to be a model that, you know, is going to slow down.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing, and that's what I was thinking. It's like you're in the middle of the gold rush with your product because, or the food rush, whatever we call it. I don't know. There's probably a name out there that I don't know for it, but it just seems like the foresight. I kind of laughed at you. Said, well, we just kind of got lucky on that one, but I mean, you said 10 years, and look at that. The business has been in business over 10 years. It's awesome, and I love that you said it's going international and all these other things. It's great. What do you see as next? I mean, what's next for your plans for Grower's Secret and just what you plan on doing with it next?
Right. So I'm very excited for the future, Adam, because just like there's symbiosis in nature, there's a huge symbiosis between entrepreneurs and investors. And so for me, that was a very hard row to hoe, so to speak, because raising money is tough for anybody. But we have been a manufacturer and distributor of organic crop inputs, fertilizers, but we are attempting to pivot the business to a licensing and service model. Mm. And the reason that we're doing this is because as you know, our oceans have been poisoned, and climate change is bleaching all of our coral reefs. And so aside from just producing organic fertilizers, Grower's Secret has a mission to help repair the earth. And we spent the last 5 years creating a regenerative, patent organic fertilizer production platform that when implemented will have the capability to replace all synthetic nitrogen, so products like urea made from ammonia, with plant-based organic nitrogen. Now what's so good about this is that organic nitrogen is food for microbes in the soil. And so they don't leach, they don't volatilize, a farmer's soil doesn't become hard-packed and have a strange chemical odor to it. In an organic farm, you can thrust your arm down to your elbow in the soil.
Wow.
So what we are looking to do is disintermediate the 66 billion a a year agricultural nitrogen market, which is mostly synthetic. Farmers need low-cost nitrogen, and so most use synthetic. But there are people just like us, and they realize that nitrogen has poisoned their soil, our waterways, and our oceans. And so they're seeking an alternative that allows them to also maintain their lifestyle, their farm profitability, and what their dads and grandpas did. And so we believe that by producing organic nitrogen for less than synthetic, we can help farmers maintain profitability and at the same time remove a huge chemical from use on the planet.
Oh, man, that's amazing. I love it. And so Chaz, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about Grower Secret, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, certainly the easiest is just to go over to our website, www.growersecret.com. Or if somebody's really interested, come on and get in touch with me. My email address is Chaz, C-H-A-Z, B like in boy, at growersecret.com. And there are 2 S's in the middle of Grower Secret.
Perfect. Well, hey, Chaz, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great work that you're doing over at Grower Secret, not only in your business, but to help us all with these big projects that you're tackling. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, share this with your friends, your family, your coworkers. Do all those great things we do to support our podcasters, and it really does mean a lot to me. And Chaz, thanks again for coming on.
Oh, Adam, it was truly an honor. Thank you very much.